Hi friends, welcome back to the rabbit hole. I'm a little hyper today. I was not planning on this video today, but we're gonna do it. I was just gonna try this stuff out myself and kind of do reviews on what I thought was worth reviewing. But I guess we're doing this mainly because I want to talk about what's going on with the Ulta bans. So just so you know what this video is gonna be, I bought some of the MAC Aladdin collection. Everything about me just screams that I grew up in the 90s, couldn't resist MAC's Aladdin, running a Spice Girls giveaway right now. I mean, need I say more? And then I bought a lot of drugstore stuff lately because I just have been gravitating more and more to grad school. What? We already went through that phase of life. To the drugstore. So I'm going to be starting off with the Disney Aladdin Eyeshadow x9 Princess Jasmine palette. Oh, by the way, please ignore the brows. I know they're extremely bold and uneven. They're going to go under a wig. This is a lot less underwhelming in person than I expected it to be. You kind of see all these intense swatches of this palette right now on social media, but I mean, we'll play with it. We'll see what happens. But my hopes at the moment are they're kind of not that high. It's a nice little cool toned scheme. All right, let's chat about Ulta. I feel like about once every 6 months, you hear about people getting banned from placing online orders at Ulta. I am not banned, but I did go through a period of time in which I felt like I was on edge of getting banned, and I'm going to explain why I thought that. I'm a fan of Ulta's, but honestly, I was a fan of Sephora's long before Ulta's. I think this is kind of true for a lot of people. And it's really just as simple as Sephora is a lot closer in proximity to me than Ulta. We don't technically have an Ulta in my city, so I have to drive, depending on traffic, up to 30 minutes to get out to an Ulta. But, you know, over the years, Ulta has really shown that they have a better rewards program than Sephora, and when you buy as much makeup and skincare as I do, you kind of start realizing, well, I'm going to take advantage of whoever has a better rewards program, right? I'm not just going to jump into the deep, deep purple in this palette, almost a purple brown, so I'm going to use MAC's Ho that I have in a single form and kind of deepen up the crease. And honestly, now that I look at the two side by side, I'm not even really sure we're going to be doing much deepening at all. They're very similar. Oh well, we're gonna try it. But I would say I pretty much transitioned over to Ulta being the main beauty store that I purchased from, and everything went rather swimmingly for a long time. I hit diamond sometime last summer. You know, I obviously purchased mostly a lot of skincare, a whole lot of skincare. So I probably spent around $2,000 total at Ulta last year. Then something happened at the end of November towards December, and I don't know what. If you're a subscriber, you may have watched me unbox a palette that arrived broken, and that was only the beginning of the issues. I just kept having broken item after broken item. And this was very bizarre because it had never been a problem before. Now, initially I was hesitant to reach out, which is kind of silly. You shouldn't be. You know, if you pay for a product, you should receive it complete. It should not be broken. I guess I'll use this deep purple down here now. So I did go ahead and reach out to Ulta, and they didn't have any problem with either refunding me when they didn't have the item or reshipping it to me. And I really thought everything was fine because I've been, you know, supplying them with photos of everything. I'll take a picture, like if I receive a broken item, I'll put the item over my what's it called? The packing slip, so that they can see the order number really clearly. I should have been clued in that there was something not really working out that well, in that every time they would get the initial email where I had the picture attached, they would always reply to me and say, can you include your order number so we can figure out what's going on? And I was always like, well, it's on the packing slip in the photo, but here it is, it has a second place. I'm pretty sure I had a total of 4 broken packages in the month of December, well, the end of November to December. And it was really getting frustrating. I had started telling the UPS guys, you know, can you figure out what's going on? Because I keep getting broken items with pretty much every purchase that I was making. Every purchase would have a broken item in the box. And I know it was a stressful time for UPS because, you know, December, need I say more? There were a lot of times where a person who wasn't even dressed in UPS clothing was delivering my package, and that's another story. I actually had a little box that I saw on my doorstep one day. I opened the door, I heard somebody out there, I heard a light knock. I opened the door and I'm like, oh, this has somebody else's name and apartment number on it. So I walked over to that apartment and there was a girl not in a UPS uniform standing there. She sees the little box in my hands and she's like, uh-oh, I must have mixed them up, and grabs a big box off another person, the person who, the apartment number that was on the little box. And she hands that big box to me. Coincidentally, it was a gift that I had bought, a pair of boots that I'd bought for a friend that was $200. You know, that's the kind of thing that you don't want that to go missing. But, you know, again, the holiday months are really, really stressful, and a lot of new hires, a lot of temporary hires, and just general chaos in the shipping department, I think more so now than ever before. Well, every time Ulta had been really quite nice in dealing with this, like, no problem, you know, here's your replacement, on its way, that kind of thing. All month long. I'm gonna use some NYX glitter glue because I don't trust these shimmers and I want this to be a bold look. So the very final issue of the year happened either on December 30th or December 31st. I'm not kidding at how bad December was for my Ulta orders. I had ordered one of those jumbo size conditioners and some kind of sale that they were having, and it came to my door and I looked at the box and I knew that it was going to be a problem because the Ulta box, you know those crappy cardboard boxes they ship things in, it went from being this size to half its size. It was squished down so badly. So before I even opened the box, I started taking photos because, you know, I knew. You see a box like that, you know it's going to be a problem. And sure enough, once I opened the box, there was conditioner absolutely everywhere. The entire lid was completely smashed in. I mean, I don't know what had happened to this, but it was it looked to me like some kind of heavy machinery had squished the box. I'm gonna try to make this the center of my lid and kind of work a gradient with this entire row from this light purple to deep. So I attached all the photos and hit send, and I actually got a reply faster than I ever had before. It was not the reply that I expected, but I can't say that in this moment I was terribly surprised because I had a lot of issues. Basically, the reply said, you've had a lot of issues. At this point, we'd like you to take the product in store and do an exchange. So initially, I was like, okay, fine, you know, that's fine. I understand it really has been a lot of issues, but then I got to thinking about it and I actually managed to work myself into being pissed. My Ulta's a 30-minute drive, and what they were asking me to do was to exchange something the week after Christmas. I was not excited about this and want to spend an hour of my time when, you know, I placed this order so I don't have to go in store. I feel really underwhelmed by this. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the, you know, Disney that I expected, I guess. I will say, the good thing about this is I have a whole new world stuck in my head, and that makes me happy. I'm gonna try on this Milani Conceal and Perfect in shade 01A Creamy Nude. I don't know how I haven't tried this yet. I've had this for like 2 weeks. So I did end up replying to them. Ooh, this is thick. Oh, good match though. I replied to them. I sent them the pictures a second time, you know, and I made sure to explain, you know, please talk to UPS because I don't want this. I don't want to keep writing you guys. It's exhausting, you know? And they actually replied to me with the exact same email of, you've been having too many issues, please go in store. And at this point, I just sent back and I was like, do you understand what I'm telling you? You're asking for an hour of my time to go stand in lines because of an issue that happened on your part. It's not on my part. You know, this isn't me just returning something because I didn't like it. This is a conditioner burst in the box, in transport. Why is this suddenly my problem? So it actually took about a week before I got a reply, and the reply, they said, you know, we're gonna be reshipping it. So I was like, you know, thank you, finally. I was really quite exhausted. I had this stupid box by the door, this disgusting, dripping with conditioner box by the door, because I didn't know if I should be throwing it out yet, or just somehow dragging this disgusting box into their store. So I was thankful that we did get it worked out, and I was thankful that I didn't have to go drive down there, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it did really start to weigh on me at about this point, and I don't think I placed a single order with Ulta the entire month of January. I made some Sephora orders, but I really don't think I bought anything from Ulta because I was frustrated. And that's what happens when you have issues that are not the customer's fault, but you kind of treat the customer like it's their problem. They're just not going to shop with you even if they spent thousands with you in the past year. I actually have a lot of irritation over here today, and I don't know why, so maybe I'm going to skip this Physicians Formula Refresh Mist Cucumber and Bamboo Facial Spray. It has an SPF of 20, which I think is nice. Don't rely on that, but it's a nice addition. However, I just noticed it is a chemical sunscreen, which often causes me irritation. So now I'm wondering if that's where that came from, because I did use this yesterday. I was going to use the NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Tint as well, but now that I look at it, it's a very red color. Just kind of came off in chunks. That's not a good look. I will definitely try this out on a day when I wear less makeup, but also warm tones versus cool. Let's just go with another MAC blush. I'll use my Patrick Star. I'm not blushing. I do love this one. Alright, so we got through January and February. It was really quite funny because so much of the community was on a low buy, and I was quite unintentionally on a low buy myself. The 21 Days of Beauty was absolutely fine. I had no issues whatsoever, and I actually thought maybe things would just get back to normal, which was fantastic. Alright, so then I'm going to try out this California Beam-In Bronzer in the shade The Golden One. I'm going to use a MAC stippling brush for this, the 159. So after the 21 Days of Beauty, I did have some kind of a points issue, and at this point I figured, okay, well, enough time has passed. You know, I placed a good amount of orders during the 21 Days of Beauty. I felt like now I could surely contact them. So I wrote them and I attached all the screenshots showing that the order said I was supposed to get so and so many points, but then when I looked at my account, you know, it had been weeks. I looked at my account and I didn't get them, so I was like, you know, you'd think this is clear cut. You've got the photo showing I'm supposed to get, I think it was around 150 points. I didn't get them. And I got back this reply from them about how they were unable to add the points because they couldn't prove that the points should have been there, whereas my screenshot, you would think, would prove that quite nicely, right? So at this point, I wrote them back and I asked, you know, well, can't you see from the photo that your app was showing I should have gotten this many points? And I didn't, so one would think this is a clear-cut add the points to her account. And this is when I got some information that I think is critical for this video, so listen up here. This person, the customer service representative for Ulta, told me, we are unable to open images here because corporate is concerned that we could get some kind of virus or something from opening pictures. It was in this moment that I knew why all these problems had happened to me. If Ulta's associates are unable to open photos, then that means that every time I had written them with an issue, attached all these clear photos, attached my order number, thought that it was very evident that I was not making this up, you can see how squished the box is, etc., they couldn't see it because corporate doesn't allow them to see images. And really, this is when it all clicked for me. I was like, if corporate can't see this, then it's simply my word against what they think should have happened. And I just can't stress how much this is a problem because it's very easy to lie if you don't have to have any evidence, Ulta. There's been a lot of speculation about what could be the possible reasoning for people getting banned, but it seems like the final straw for every person has not been returns, it's been emailing in with an issue. What I learned is that Ulta doesn't have a good system in place for this, and this is why I think if you always buy in store, mostly buy in store, you're probably fine because you're dealing with the customer service there, you know, you're bringing back your returns, all of that, but that's an issue for people like myself who don't have Ulta very readily available to them. So at this point, I think your best bet is if you have any kind of an online issue, take it back to the store, make a return. I've never seen anybody get banned for a return that hasn't already had pre-existing problems with returns. All right, so this is the Milani highlighter. I'm using the Fenty brush because I find it delivers the most impact by far. And to give you another example, if you remember, I bought a Bare Minerals foundation stick and I returned it, and that was very out of character for me. I'm not somebody who easily returns items just because I didn't really like it, but this is all kind of building up to why I did this. So I had placed that order on Platinum Perks Day, and I was supposed to get a gift with purchase, and my gift with purchase was canceled from my order. Now, because of what I knew at this point, I wasn't about to contact them. I was just like, well, I guess I'll suck it up and not get my gift with purchase. And I really think that that frustration was a huge reason why I tried the foundation stick. I was like, I don't love it, I'm returning it. And so I returned it without any issues. And I think what I want Ulta to know, what I wish they could know, they probably won't watch this video, but what I wish they could know is that by putting your customers in a place where they feel they can't contact you about issues, you will end up losing business. And I'm such a great example of this because I didn't place orders for January or February. And most of the stuff that I bought in this video, I bought this stuff direct from Physicians Formula's website. If you were part of the Physicians Formula drama from last year, they've gotten so much better. Good job, Physicians Formula. I got this order in like 3 days. I bought the Milani items through the Milani website. I bought the MAC items from MAC's website. I did buy these NYX items from Ulta's website. This was right before the new wave of bans had started, and I don't know what to do right now. I'm frustrated with it. I don't want to read about other people getting banned because that's sad. I don't want to be banned myself. Do the jump cuts startle you? Do they make you jump? All right, Dadless. One more product in here. This is the Princess Incognito lipstick from the MAC collection. It's the most nude neutral color because I guess I've been on a boring streak compared to some of my past looks. I honestly feel like I should have just stuck with buying a lipstick because I really like the lipstick's packaging more. Closing thoughts regarding this Ulta situation. One thing that I've noticed in every single one of the complaints that I've seen online, every person is saying they're at least platinum status, if not diamond, meaning they've spent somewhere between, $450 to well over $1,200 in a year with Ulta, which makes me think that the issue is quantitative rather than looking at the bigger picture, as in, percentage of issues. So, maybe you have somebody spending $70 a year at Ulta and having 0 issues and they're not banned, but is that really quite fair that somebody who spent $1,200 and had, even $100 worth of issues, is that really fair to ban them? And the other thing I've noticed is that this is not new. I just saw a new surge in this happening, but I know this has happened a lot in the past. And what I've noticed is whenever somebody has a large following and complains about it on Instagram or Twitter, the following complains on behalf of that person and they get their account reinstated. But what if you're just a normal person? What then? Who's vouching for you? And I don't think this is fair at all. I think Ulta is chasing away some of their biggest customers because they haven't figured out a good system for dealing with issues. You got to catch up with the times here, Ulta. People are going to move more and more to the internet. I don't even think stores are going to exist in enough time. I mean, how many of us have watched Amazon wipe out business? The only reason that Ulta and Sephora are doing okay is because, for whatever reason, cosmetics has not been taken over by Amazon yet. But if this kind of stuff happens to our favorite stores and to us, it's going to be the way things go. I'll switch to Amazon Prime. I see how Amazon Prime works. So that's my thoughts on this situation. Please feel free to comment if this has happened to you, because I didn't want to speak on behalf of anybody, even though I kind of know who it is that this has happened to, so feel free to comment. As for what I tried today, I feel like if you're wanting something from the Aladdin collection, right now I'd recommend you the lipstick over the eyeshadow palette. It's just really underwhelming. I like the bronzer and highlighter, but I'll have to play with them more. The highlighter definitely went from being more high impact to kind of calming down. I'll really have to see how this foundation wears. It looks pretty good right now, but man, it's full coverage. It's a full coverage foundation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.